everyone, my name is Samuel Legrand. I am a visual design student. I'm from Knightdale, North Carolina, and I play the trombone in the band.
Well, it is it's 8:55 right now, and the first thing I plan on doing is making me some breakfast. So I'm gonna go and do that now.
Why'd you choose North Carolina A&T?
Um, the top reason is because they gave me the most money. I mean, like, coming from a family that doesn't really have all those funds, my mom was like, do good in school, so you don't got to worry about all that. And I did good, and then they gave me money, and like they gave me a lot, and they said, come over here, make us look good. So I was like, okay, cool. But the other reasons is because, in terms of I feel like at home here, not just in the band, but I have a lot of family up here in Greensboro, and I just like the vibe of the city and just all in general.
So one of the classes that I take is the biological science. It's a lab that I have to take. That goes towards all the credits that I have. It's an online course. There's options to take it in person, but I chose not to do that because of all the other classes that I have. And I feel like if I were to try to, do a lot of in-person classes, I would drain myself both mentally and physically.
They also have RNA and ribosomes, which
Yep, and I think right now we're learning about cell structures and how both prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells are different.
So as a visual art design student, they say an artist can be a musician, a visual artist, or any when they say the term artist, it can be so many different things. But as a visual design student and also musician, how do you plan to combine the two?
Um, well, I, I don't know just yet. I know that after college, I would like to do something that I enjoy as a profession, and that it combines both music and art. Maybe that'd be like animation in terms of video games or TV shows, but something that, I'll enjoy that, puts both together.
These are the braces that I wear throughout the day that helps with my leg support. Um, this one is typically for like when I'm wearing longer pants or anything and I'm just walking around campus. But when I'm typically doing a lot of physical work, like marching band or any type of athletic stuff, I typically wear these right here because they're tighter and they're gonna, of course, help me when I'm marching and dancing and playing and all that stuff.
The demands of the program. How do you balance school, band, and everything else?
Oh, now that I've finished my homework that I'm supposed to do early in the morning, what I'm about to do is head over to the Dudley building to do some assignments before class starts, to be ahead of the game because I take a lot of classes and I'm also in band, so I can't really get behind on my classes or band, so just gotta manage my time the right way. Yep, and my friend Aaron's gonna take me over there. Hold on. Hey man, how you doing? Shoot, how you thinking, man?
Did all right.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Head over to this Dudley building and get this homework in. Yep. Let's go do that now.
So last year I wasn't very good at that. I made my schedule to where I was taking too many classes early in the morning, having no time to do that homework, and then having to come to band from 4 or 5 till until, and that would tire me out. Now what I do is I have a few classes in person, and I take a lot of online classes. This way, I can, take my own time to do those classes and be physically well rested to come here to practice at 5 o'clock.
There's a change of plans because that class that has all of the laptops in there that I need to do the assignments on. There's an actual class being occupied at the moment. So what I'm about to do is get something to eat before class at 2 o'clock. I might go over here to the Cave, and then I might go to Chick-fil-A in the student center, whichever one that I'm feeling. I'll figure it out.
You auditioned on percussion. You came to 2-day rehearsal.
Yeah.
And at that time, we got information that you had a condition, and you ended up having to switch to another instrument. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So yeah, I came to the 2-day, and when we were practicing, I think it was cadence, my condition started doing one of the I would say features or aspects of it where when my body gets too tired, the left side of my body tends to tense up. And I was like, okay, this is gonna be a problem. And so I talked to Mr. Harvey about it, and he went to you about it. And at first, I was a little upset, because I came in thinking I was going to do drumline, like, because I've been doing percussion for so long. And, when not broke the news, but when you told me, yeah, I was a little upset. But then you said, is there anything else you can do? I was like, I can do trombone. And then when you said, that's perfect because we need trombones, I was like, okay, cool. I'm somewhere because, I put all my chips in one place, not thinking I had another option. But at first when I, started, playing the trombone, I was a bit discouraged coming in, not really knowing a lot in compared to the old heads and even my siblings. But as time went on, and as they started helping me, I got the hang of it, and I'm still learning it.
I just finished class at Dudley Hall, and now what I'm about to do is go pick up my uniform because we have a performance coming up at Duke. So I gotta go pick up my uniform from the cleaners. I'm gonna do that right now.
So how was it? I know you said initially discouraged and things like that. Going from this section to the section last year as far as trombones, one section of the year. So how was that?
In the beginning, like I said, I was discouraged. I couldn't I barely knew any of my scales. My range was terrible. I could barely play like a B flat consistently, stuff like that. And I would consistently continuously doubt myself, like I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not as good as my old heads or my siblings. I'm holding everyone back. And I remember my sister who marched last year, and Trey was a section leader last year. He told me, one, not to compare myself to other people because everyone has, their time where they, succeed. Well, not really succeed, but everyone progresses at different rates. And that he told me that if you're not supposed to be here, the program, or the band would have kicked you out a long time ago. They wouldn't have even kept you if they feel like you weren't necessary. So keep trying, and I promise you'll see the results sooner or later.
Remember, hold it all the way out to count 451. You had to take a bigger breath right there. 1, 2, ready, and.
So in the fall, you marched on trombone. Yeah. And in our spring ensembles, you were able to perform the percussion section with wind ensemble.
Yeah.
How was it getting back to what it is that you do?
It was, a refresher. When I got here in spring, it was like, okay, now I know what I'm doing for real. Like when you play the scales, oh, I got that. Even some of the people who was in the percussion section with me was like, how do you know your scales? And it's like, I've just been doing it for so long. And, there were some parts where, with my condition that were difficult for me to play. But when I do percussion, I typically find, loopholes to help me play better and more proficient. Like if I can't, single stroke something fast enough, I might find the rudiment that makes it sound the most crisp or the most proficient. So those are just some of the things that I do to make my life easier as a percussionist.
Okay. So with the demands, with the heavy demands as far as marching and instrument carriage and just the physical demands that happen, how do you manage still participating with your conditioning?
Well, the first thing that I do is stay in shape, more shape than necessary, because of how my disability works. So let's say they say, bands not physically demanding as football or whatnot. even though that's not really true in my opinion. But I worked myself up to that athletic level to where, when I'm marching or when I'm playing, it doesn't hurt me as much because, last year it was to the point to where I could barely walk after practice. Now it's like, I know what my limits are. So I go sit out, stretch my leg out, sit down, take a breather, and hop back in when necessary. So I don't, hurt myself in the process of.
For someone who has their heart set on being in the program, but at the same time they may have physical limitations that may not allow them to, what would you say to encourage them to go for it?
Well, one, go for it. I mean, like, there's no harm in going for it, because it sucks. It's gonna hurt you more if you don't try. Because if you count yourself out, it's like you won't even know if you actually can do it. Like if I would have counted myself out, during the time you said that, is there anything else you can do? I would have, not been here today or enjoyed the experiences that I did today. So, keep pushing. It might seem tough at first, but if you do what you're supposed to do, like practice, ask people for help because there's always people who will be willing to help you, you'll be fine.
What do you want your legacy to be as a member of the BGMM?
My legacy. Okay. So I don't want to be known as the best person. I don't. And that's always been me. I don't want to be like, yeah, he's the one who brought, the trombone section up here. I don't want to be like, the avatar of the section. I don't. I want to be someone who, when you think back of, it's like, he might not have been the best, but you can never count him out. Like he was always there. He was always someone that, to an extent, to a very great extent, you could rely on to play music, help other people with music, and just a well-rounded person in the band who just didn't give up due to his circumstances.